Am I really filming a whole YouTube video on my iPhone stacked on a bunch of turtle supplies? Yes, I am. I spilled water on myself. This looks so bad, I'm gonna fix this lighting later. But anyway, so most of this is going to be clipped over with videos that I've taken anyway. But every once in a while you're gonna see me sitting here and I have to dump this bucket of water. So what we're doing right now is we're siphoning out old dirty turtle water and we're dumping it in my bathtub and then I'm filling it up and then I'm bringing it in here. So there's a lot happening in this video because I don't have time for anything. Clean this tank and we're gonna talk because I would be sitting here anyway making sure that this doesn't overflow. So might as well film a video. So, hey guys. I haven't done any videos or posts or anything in 5,000 years, I know. And I have so many things I have to edit, things that I don't even know if I finished filming. I think I started filming them and then I never finished filming. I don't have my makeup done, I have glasses on, so now you guys know I'm actually blind. And this is just how life is. I'm almost done with school, almost done with senior year. I'm trying to get through, so basically my whole life is in shambles until I finish high school, and then I'm going to college, and then my whole life will be in shambles again. But anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about why there are basking lamps behind me, why there's a huge tub that you guys can see, and why I am turning tank water. I have a turtle. I'm pretty sure there's so many videos where I was like, I'm not getting any more animals. I'm at my limit for now. When I move out, I'll get more animals. But here's the thing. A thing about turtles. Turtles are one of the, if not the, most neglected animals that are kept as pets. The most neglected pet across the board because they get really big. They need UVB, they need heating, they need a basking spot to completely get out of the water. They are very, very messy, so you have to clean their tank a lot. And they get, I think I said this already, but they get pretty big. And most people, get the turtle and when it's like little, and they're like, oh, this is cute. And then when they realize how much work it is, then they either don't do that work or they get rid of it instead of making it the most neglected. So why I have a turtle has to do with them being the most neglected pet, because someone that I know got this turtle like, I keep thinking 5 years ago. I really have no clue how long they had him for. It was for like a couple of years, and got him when he was like 5 inches probably, from Petco, so Petco's just so great. I hate Petco more and more every day, but that's another topic, another video. Anyway, so got him from Petco, which is not a good idea. Petco gets their animals from horrible breeders. So he was in a 70-gallon, but the 70-gallon only ever got filled up halfway the whole time that he was there. So for the first couple years of his life, he lived in a 70-gallon that's halfway filled up, so like in 35 gallons. So you're like, okay, 5-inch turtle, they need 50 gallons. That's not really that great because he's in 35, but he needs 50 because you need 10 gallons per inch of turtle. So he's in that. She's feeding him these, and these only. Guys, when I looked at these pellets, I was disgusted that I had ever even fed these to him, and I will feed them to him when I don't have live food because they are very high in protein. So when he was that young, like, this was okay, it wasn't that great, but like, protein-wise, it was okay. But she continued to feed that to him into his adulthood, and only that. And then she started this thing where she just throws in things without actually looking up if they're okay for him to eat. So she'd give him deli meat, like ham, and then she'd give him a Cheerio here and there. I'm like, what are you doing? The filter broke, and this is where things started going downhill. Before it was like, okay, this isn't that good, but he has a heat lamp. I don't even think he had UVB. I think they were just standard aquarium lights. I don't actually think there were UVB, but there might have been because the shell actually isn't that bad to what you would think it would be without UVB for that long. But definitely not good. He has one of those little floaty docks, you know, that you clip on. So that works for him for a while. And he's on gravel, which isn't that great because they can swallow it. And so she learns, oh yeah, they can't be on gravel, or they can be on gravel, but it's not good because they can swallow it. So they take out all the gravel. And then the filter breaks, and this is where things start going downhill because he's been sitting in pretty much the same water anyway. The filter's just been filtering it. I don't think there was a single water change really done on that tank. And then the filter breaks, so now you're looking at 100% water changes every week, possibly more because turtles are very dirty animals. Person can't keep up with the water changes, or can't or won't, I don't know. Just doesn't do the water changes. And then cloudy, dirty, mucky water. The turtle is now too big to fit onto a basking floating shelf. This happens a lot. Red ear sliders get very big. I didn't even mention this is a red ear slider. And a lot of the times those little cute plastic Zoom Ed docks that stick just won't cut it for a full grown turtle. They can weigh a lot. And so the dock doesn't work for him anymore. So basically he's completely submerged all the time. And he just has a little heat lamp, and he gets those pellets, and the water gets kind of cleaned, not really. And so this goes on for a couple of years. Then at one point, I don't really remember that well, so I might not be exact. At one point this turtle's living in like a laundry basket with a heated blanket under it. I don't know. I'm confused because even myself, I'm like, I think he was in water, but I don't know what was happening. And then after that, he started living in just a plastic container that's probably like this big, just filled with water all the time. A plastic container in a 70-gallon tank. So he's just in the container, and there was a bunch of towels piled up on the other side, so theoretically he could get himself out of that container and pull himself onto the towels to dry off. I don't think he could do that. And then he just had the heat lamp like so close, just in his, practically touching the water. I don't think he ever got out. I think he was just sitting in that little tub of water. You know, you take the turtle out, you throw the water out, you fill it up with water, you put the turtle back in. But since it's such a small concentrated body of water, the turtle's constantly producing waste and food and stuff, that water gets so dirty. Even if you're doing that once a day, it's still going to get dirty and dirty and dirty and dirty. And if you're not scrubbing it out and you're just tossing the water out, it's going to be even grosser. And so I hadn't seen this turtle for a couple of years. I know he was still alive, but I just never went and saw him and stuff. And the person realized, they got him when they were younger, so it's not like you can blame them too much, but they kind of realized, you know, hey, I'm not really taking care of this animal that well, and they felt super bad and stuff, and they were like, I don't know what to do. So they started going around trying to find people to take this animal. And so they couldn't find anyone. No one in the area could take them. We don't have any reptile rescues really in this area. And I just kept thinking, I've been thinking for years now, I was like, one day I'm going to take that turtle. I always kept thinking it, always kept saying it. I'm like, one day I'm going to take that turtle. I'm going to give it the freaking best life that it could have asked for. But I have no room in my room. And I have money and stuff. And my parents, I don't think, want a turtle. But then this miracle happens, and my parents say, yes, you can get the turtle, because I offered to pay for everything. So now that's where this little boy comes in. So when the person gave him to me, he was just wrapped up in a towel. They literally handed me this turtle wrapped up in a towel, and it's tucked inside its shell, petrified. I didn't even see how it was living before I got it, so it might have been in better conditions, worse conditions. I don't know, but I know it wasn't good. And so I take the turtle, I put it in the bucket that I have, so that way I'm not just trying to hold this turtle. And so you guys can see that. That is when I first got Atticus. That footage should be up right now. Yes, his name is Atticus. That was his original name. I'm keeping his name because it's kind of a cute name. I don't mind it. He was covered in his own poop. He smelled horrendous, just absolutely disgusting. I like washed my hands like 5 times after I bathed him, and I could still smell the stench on me. I had to go to work after I bathed him, so I didn't actually get all of it off in the first bath. I had to bathe him like 3 times until his shell, like, actually, I could see the shell underneath this muck. And he had some suck shed on him, like some scoots that hadn't come off. Turtles shed all of their scoots, but since he was in such bad conditions, the scoots weren't shedding off properly, and they were stuck in chunks and stuff. And I, at first, when I got him, I was like, oh, he doesn't have any shell rot, because he was so mucked up. I thought that his shell was just a very dark color. But then once I cleaned him, I realized, oh, he does have shell rot. He has it in a couple different spots, and I still haven't fixed it yet. He's basking, so that should help, but I haven't gone through and been really religious about getting rid of it, so I need to do that. But yeah, I gave him 3 baths, 3 days in a row, just scrubbed him off with some light soap and water, and then one day I tried apple cider vinegar mixed with some water because someone said that, but I liked the soap better. It got it all off so good. And I bought him a pond. It's 125 gallons. It's not exactly filled all the way, I don't think. So he still isn't exactly in 125, but he's only like 7 inches. So this is actually overkill for a turtle of his size, but I don't care. I'm gonna give him the best life. I have a Cascade 1200, I think, running on his tank right now. Really lovely filter. Actually reminds me that I need to go through and rinse all of the filter media today, except for the biological filter part, because it's been running for about a month now. I bought a bunch of stuff from Chewy. I love Chewy. The more I buy from them, the more I like them. I got his UVB bulb, which I have the box right here so I can read it down. It's a Repticen 5.0 UVB, and I'll have to replace that every single 6 months now. I got him his basking light, which is supposed to be water resistant in case he splashes water on it. His basking spot's about, like, it's a little shy of 95, but it should be 95. I think it's like probably 90 or something. I don't have my temp gun with me to check. And I have a water test kit, so I test his water pretty much every week that I do a water change. He's in dechlorinated water, because that's the other thing. He was sitting in just regular tap water. So, who even knows what kind of health ramifications that has when he's constantly drinking in chlorine. It's in his eyes, it's on his skin. No. And yeah, I've switched him over from these things, which are like 34% protein or something like that, because he needs to be eating a mostly plant-based diet at this point. 50% greens, 25% pellets, 25% protein. So I switched him over to a better pellet. It's I have my camera is stacked on top of it right now. It is the Zoo-Med maintenance formula for turtles, and these pellets have way less protein in them. They're better for adult turtles. They're made for adult turtles. And filter keeps his water clear. Any uneaten food, I scoop it out pretty much immediately, and then I do pretty much a 50% water change once a week. I am still waiting on the tank to cycle. I threw in some beneficial bacteria to speed up the cycling process, but I don't think the bacteria ever actually took. I don't think it worked, so the tank is cycling itself naturally. His ammonia got super high the other week, which freaked me out, but he is okay. And yeah, he's just been living his life. He has such personality. He's still really shy about me touching him and stuff, so that's definitely something we still have to work on, because if he's on his basking dock and I walk in, he will jump off. But he really loves to eat. That's like his favorite activity in the whole wide world. He loves night crawlers, I've learned. He's obsessed with them. He eats live food really well. One thing is, he will not eat greens and vegetables, which are supposed to make up 50% of his diet. So I'm trying the technique where you let them soak in tuna water, and then you give it to them so they smell the tuna and they think, oh, that's tuna, but really it's vegetables. It works really, really well with carrots. It doesn't work as well with kale, but he will still eat it if it's a small enough chunk and he can get it in the first grab. He'll eat it without realizing. So that's a little annoying, and I'm hoping that eventually he'll start eating them on his own without having to dip them in tuna. But right now, we're still working on that. But yeah, this is just Turtley Boy, which is what I call Atticus Turtley Boy's story of rags to riches. I love him a lot. He's just a really, really great animal, and I'm very happy that I took him because he's definitely fun. He's full of personality. He has, thankfully he does not have any major health issues. I really was afraid he was going to come to me with upper respiratory infection and with major shell rot. But his shell rot is fine, it's not that bad, and he has no respiratory infections. For a while he was gaping his mouth open a lot in the water, but I think that was just because the ammonia was really high, but he hasn't been doing that lately. One thing I noticed, this is disgusting, but I'm going to tell it to you guys anyway. He ate his own poop the other day, and it happened so quickly I couldn't stop it. I was like, oh my god. I tried so hard to get it out before he could, but I didn't have the fishnet on me fast enough to net it out. So I'm thinking that's because he's been eating too much protein, because that's the only thing he would eat. He didn't eat for the first 2 weeks I had him, basically, and the first thing he ate was live food, a cricket. So I had been mostly feeding him protein, and then those pellets I gave him are really high in protein. So now that I'm switching him more, to be on his actual diet of pellets with less protein and leaves and greens and occasional protein, I'm thinking that that should go away because it won't smell as protein-like. But I looked up and people said that was super normal, but I don't think that it's a good thing. When dogs eat their own poop, normally it's a sign that the dog is eating too fast, and so it's not properly digesting the food. So I think I'm also going to space him out as he eats, so he's not just eating and eating and eating. Because that's not something you want your animals to do, even though it may be common. I don't think it's something that should be happening. I'm sure it happens every once in a while, but not regularly. I don't know what else to say. Okay, so I actually forgot to mention that for a while, the temporary basking spot that I had set up for him, he refused to use, so I actually had to dry dock him, which is where you just put him in a bucket with the towel so he can grip onto it, and you just kind of force him to sit under the heat lamps. He hated it, and that's to be expected. It didn't last very long. I only did it for 2 hours a day, but now he basks fine, so it's not a problem anymore. And then the other thing I forgot to mention is that I actually had to teach him how to swim again because his muscles and stuff weren't used to it. He was just sitting in a puddle of water basically. So I had to slowly fill up his tank so that way he would get accustomed to how deep the water was and it wouldn't stress him out too much. So that's why in the earlier videos you will actually notice that the tank water is super low. But now he is able to swim pretty well and it's not a concern anymore. You guys have kind of seen his tank. I put duckweed in there as an attempt to get him to eat plants, but it didn't really work out. I think he ate most of it actually, but I never really saw him eat it. He would eat it on accident a lot of the times when he went for pellets. But duckweed is supposed to be like a kind of grouping, carpeting plant on the top of the water. I don't know if my filter's just so strong, but it never really carpeted properly. And so I don't know if it just died because it couldn't carpet. Is that even a verb? It couldn't carpet? I don't know. So I pretty much don't have any duckweed in there now. I can show you guys a quick video of what it looks like now. And I will link the video of how to make his basking spot in the description box below. I was going to film it going through my time with it, but it was just too much. It's too much to try to film everything. Words of advice for this basking spot is if you are going to build it, it's made out of PVC piping, so make sure you get PVC cement because I tried some glue and it didn't work well with the glue. So this is his basking spot. As you can see, I just have a bunch of rope wrapped around some PVC piping that I cut out. That video for how to make it will be in the box below. Then I just put some window screen mesh over it because I didn't want to go out and buy fake grass. I'm kind of on a budget. He has a moss ball down here. It's Mario moss. I have to rinse it off like pretty much twice a week. I rinse it off because it likes to collect food particles on it, as you can see easily. Then we just have some stones that I have found to help secure the basking spot, and then just to give him enrichment because he likes to push them around. And now if we can see the boy himself. I don't know if you can really see him, but there's a turtle right here. There's a leg. Atticus, he's hiding from me because he hates me. And we're just draining his water. So anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Sorry for the very, very bad camera quality and stuff. Like, I can't be bothered. And like for Atticus, because he is on his way to recovery and an amazing life. And he's the fourth rescue of many more to come. Okay, bye.